Shalom. First, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to the saints of Yakim, pushing this truth all over Shalom. Keep pushing. For this lesson here, I'm getting into it with the book of Psalm 10. Basically just going in on Esau, the so-called white man. Because right now, Esau Edom, he's on the move. With his mandates and all his new sickness he got out by another name, same sickness but new name. A different spin to it. But right now he's on the move right now. And it's a good thing. He been hiding in the shadows for so long, doing his dirt. So now Esau Edom, he's coming all out in the open. He's up front with it. He's ready to put venom in you. And he's ready to take control of the people and put that charagma in them. Just another way of saying, in the Hebrew, saying, the where you can't buy or sell, where he can't put that in you. But we're going to get into it. It says Psalms 10:1. Why standest thou afar off, O Most High? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? So the Most High, he's not afar off to where he can't help you. He's in control of the situation. He knows what's going on at all times. If you really want to get deeper, really spiritual, he created these situations, in these scenarios. So he's not afar off. Matter of fact, we can go to the book of Jeremiah for that. 23:23. And it says, am I a power at hand, saith the Most High, and not a power afar off? So the Most High, he's a power at hand. He's on demand. He got cable beat. The Most High, he's everything, and he's everywhere. And he has all power. And everything in between. So no, he's not afar off. He's a hands-on type of power. He see what's going on. He's observant. He knows the prayers of the saints from where Yahweh Shai is going pleading our case. He's hearing the mourning and groaning from the saints. His elect men and the 1/3 of Israel. So he's hearing it, and he's not afar off. He's on the hand. He's on demand at any given time, man. And he's always on time, to be exact. Psalms 1, so like it's Psalms 10 again. Verse 2. 10, verse 2. The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. So yeah, the wicked, do persecute the poor, man. The wicked being the so-called Edomites, so like it being the Edomites, the so-called white people, and they do persecute the poor, the Israelites. It said, let them be taken in the devices, they schemes, they traps, it's starting to fall on their own head. These Edomites even the low-level Edomites, your everyday Joe six-pack plumber, they used to have, things how they gonna set Jake up. Let's set him up. Let's mess with his work so he get fired. Let's plant some drugs on him so he get arrested, get prison time. Or let's falsely accuse him so he can get hung. Put to death. But hey, look, all this stuff is happening to Edomites now. They put the drugs in the Jake community. Now they strung out. His own people is all like the Edomites out here taking this venom, without even a second thought. They running down there getting it. All this stuff they did with Jake with the Tuskegee and all this. Here it is, the Edomites, they getting trapped in their own devices, man. And here you are. You all jacked up and you're doing the Harlem Shake now from the venom. Verse 3, for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blessed the covetous, whom the Most High abhorreth. So yeah, the wicked, Esau Edom, man, he boasts a whole lot, man. Like you had that one devil, Dr. F, talking about he is science. That's a proud thing to say. That's a very, very boastful person to come out to admit such things, you know? And the Most High can't stand a proud man, a proud look, the lofty looks of man. The Most High can't stand it. And definitely Esau Edom, he wears that pride with a badge, man. He wears it with honor. Verse 5, his ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. For all his enemies he puffeth at them. So yeah, his ways are always grievous. Yeah, the so-called white man's ways are always grievous. Throws the book at Jake. He gives you GMO food. And the judgments that he hand down to Jake, he gives Jake astronomical numbers. Or put Jake to death for whistling at a so-called white woman, Emmett Till. And at his enemies, man, he puffed at them because he's saying he's the top heathen in the earth. He's the great man. He's the Most High. So he walks around with his head in the air and saying, hey, no one can touch me. I own all the fiat currency. I own all the gold. Who can come against me? And that's what this so-called white man says, man. And even the lowest Edomite think the same thing. They proud too. Verse 6, he said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. So yeah, this is what this so-called white man says in his mind. He cannot be moved. He'll never go down. And it says, for I shall never be in adversity. And that's what he thinks. He'll never be in adversity. He think he's never in trouble, man. No one's running after the so-called white man, the biggest crook on the planet. Even though it's starting to heat up, but the nations, it really ain't sunk in yet that this man's the damn devil. And, and whatever he did to you, it was to destroy you. It wasn't to build your country up or your people up. It was actually to tear them down, to get you hooked onto his money, which is all a trap of the so-called white man. That's how he charms the people with money, fame, and material things. He's a carnal man. And that's the only way he can only feel like he adding value to you or giving you something. If you got some material crap in your life, some overpriced BS that breaks down, tears up, that he goes and, call himself Louis V, some material he may pay $20, $30 for some print, and turn around and charging your woman $900, $1,200, $1,500 for a purse that he may have spent $50 on just material out of, Verse 7, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. So yeah, full of his mouth is cursing and deceit and fraud. That is him to a T, man. The deceit and fraud. The only way you can tell the so-called white man is lying if his lips are moving. If he's talking, he's lying. you know? And he says, "Oh yeah, Jake, we're all on the same level, we're all equal. You know, uh, I'm gonna give you that 40 acres and a mule, you know, this our land, this land is your land, this land is my land, all that type of crap. And he defrauded. And he defrauded the nations, and definitely the nation Israel. But you wicked 2/3 of Israel, man, you eat it up every time. And here it is now. He's putting out the biggest fraud ever. His new fraud, his new scam. The sickness 19 he got out. That's one of the biggest scams he got going on right now. And he's sitting back and making a killing off of it. He got the whole world in a whole damn in his or what they like to call it, a boondoggle. He running scam on the whole planet right now. And if this man ain't the damn devil who it is, they like to frame Jake as Jake the criminal. But this so-called white man, he's the biggest criminal ever. Can you imagine a man who's able to, say, "Oh, I got this sickness, and by the way, I got this cure for it too." And here it is, the cure is actually worse than the sickness, and yet he's being paid in order to give it out and making billions of dollars off of it. Think about that. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, in the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. And yeah, he does murder the innocent. You so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. And his eyes are privily set against the poor. You Israelites, we are the poor in the earth. We the bottom. It don't matter where you at. Whether you're in a $100,000 house, $500,000 house, $20 million house, you still poor to the so-called white man. Because whatever you got, he gave it to you. And as far as, the scriptures say in 1 Samuel 2:6, the Most High, he make it poor and make it rich. But in the earth, on this hand, our people who've got that big money, they went crawling on their knees and bending over for the so-called white man just to get these endorsements, to get these contracts, or whether they Masons, they had to, participate in the so-called white man witchcraft. So this so-called white man, he's got the money tied up in the earth, and our people, they do anything just to try to escape the curses, but that ain't the case, So you poor Jake, because the so-called white man right now, he runs the board. And he's constantly looking how to murder you N-words. And right now, he's doing a good job now with that venom he got. Or whether it's the cops shooting you down in the street, or he got your own people turned up against you, creating this, this rap music, got you all. He matter of fact, he's so good now, he got it to where pretty much he ain't got to pull the trigger no more. He done made Jake, especially tribe of Judah, you put the message out there to kill your own brother. So he got you all wind up. And when you go out, you're looking for somebody to look just like you to kill. So what he's doing, it either he's killing you firsthand or he's killing you secondhand. And you niggas are dying daily. Philly got like 500 and some homicides this year. And they broke the all-time record like last week or 2 weeks ago. So they may be at 520 by now. Who knows? But hey, and there it is. the 2/3 of Israel, your father the devil, man. He got all kind of chaos going all around the world. You know, he's got his venom going out all over the world, shipping out, you know? So this man, he's the devil. He's the son of perdition that the scriptures talk about. So there's nothing when it comes to being wicked, deceitful, you know, fraud, full of fraud. You know, the badge is the so-called white man. He's the owner